Welcome back to Unpacking Me, the parts of trauma no one talks about. Today we're talking about breaking the cycle of the holiday obligation because some of y'all are not excited about going home at all or being home at all. You're anxious, you're overwhelmed, you might be feeling resentful and feel trapped. So today, we will be exploring together holiday freedom, breaking the cycle of guilt, obligation, and family pressure. And joining me are my lovely co hosts.
I am Renelle, your co host. And yes, this episode is for the adults who just feel like they still have to play the role that they were assigned. The role that says that they get to be the peacemaker, the caretaker, the quiet one, the responsible one, the one who always says yes to everything.
Mm.
And it just ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't right.
And I'm Adenade, and if the holidays feel heavy, this episode is going to be your permission slip to breathe differently.
Yay! So, this feels like people pleasing vibes.
Yeah.
It has a flavor of people pleasing turned rebel.
Yeah.
That's an episode we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
People pleaser turned rebel.
Okay.
Yeah, right? So every family has this unspoken holiday rule where it's some emotional, some cultural. You don't get to question them. You just have to follow along. You don't challenge them, you follow along. And when you dare speak up or question,
Mm.
you get told you're disrespectful. Why do you always want to start palm? And so this guilting and shaming comes in and shuts down the, well, it's always been this way.
Exactly. And when you finally want to break that cycle or break one of those unspoken rules, because they're not really spoken, we just assume they exist
Mm-hmm.
based on the behavior of our
Mm-hmm.
elders and the culture and everybody around us.
Mm-hmm.
When we decide to finally break one of these rules, it's as if we're betraying the family, but not just the family, the bloodline.
This is
Like our ancestors are about to
mm-hmm.
roll over in their graves because God forbids we don't want to come over for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Mm-hmm. But do you know what you're actually doing? You're stepping into adulthood with agency.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
That stepping into adulthood with agency part.
Mm.
When I hear agency, I hear authority.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I hear choice. I hear right. I hear identity. And I hear boundaries. So let's break this down some more in terms of the break science and holiday anxiety. If your nervous system associates holidays with chaos, yelling, tension, or caretaking, then guess what? Your body is going to react before your ability to logic it away or reason it away because your body remembers the drama
Mm.
of the holiday season. And rightfully so. You have a body that is meant to protect you and a brain that is also meant to protect you. And if your system remembers each time around this time of year that it hasn't always come with a sense of safety or belonging or choice, your body's going to start to remind you. It might be with headaches, because if you have a headache, you get to say, I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
It might be with anxiety. It might be with chest pain. Hell, I've even had people end up in the hospital around holiday season and they don't realize that it's their brain's way of trying to support them in escaping feeling trapped. So this is why we do somatic work, right? Because sometimes we don't realize as humans that some of these intricacies or complexities around health issues,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it helps us to avoid
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
pain or obligations. And people might not want to hear this, but I'm telling you,
It does.
those migraines or those stomach aches allows you to say, I can't make it. And you don't realize that it's your brain just having your back.
It's so true. That's why some people feel sick. That's why they feel drained or foggy the whole week of Thanksgiving or Christmas. Also, because not only is your brain doing this thing where it's trying to find a way to support you through your using your body as a resource, it also is reliving the old experiences that you've had in these moments. And so it's very important to understand that. I know we're laughing about it, but it is very important. Our body, or I would get headaches when I would, like, if there's something that really makes me anxious.
Yeah.
Girl, I get sick.
It was it was a guilt laugh, right? It was a guilt laugh. Like, yeah, we get it.
All of a sudden, I'm like, why am I so sick? I can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And then when the thing is over, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm
All of a
fine.
sudden you're healed. You're healed, right? All of a sudden.
But when we take all these symptoms as if it's something's wrong with us, we automatically see the symptoms that our bodies send us as if, oh, something's not okay. But it's really our body just letting us know something's happened. We've experienced something like this before, and we have to prepare for it again.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
So why don't you go ahead and thank your body?
Thanks, body.
Thank your body. You know, and so the important thing now is to help your body to find other ways to say no without wiping you out in the process, right? So I laugh because, yeah, I had flashbacks of times when my body was like, nope, not today. Thank your body. Thank your body, because it's all you were able to do in those moments. And now you get to work on developing new ways of choosing what feels right for you.
Yeah.
And here's the truth. Guilt is often a sign that you're doing something new. So when you say no, it's like using your voice for the first time. When you say no, right? Especially when you're so used to having to live up to these obligations and expectations, it feels like using your voice for the first time, and it is going to trigger guilt. Guilt is a mediator. I say this all the time. It holds you accountable. It says you value honesty. Why are you betraying the family values to say no? Guilt doesn't have the foresight to say, well, we need to say no because it's not safe. So it's okay for you to normalize guilt showing up to hold you accountable and reframe what's going on so the guilt can understand that it gets to be there and you also get to say your no.
It's so true. And recognizing that sometimes the guilt is very much tied to somebody else's expectation.
Yeah.
And so that guilt based on their expectation oftentimes comes in to keep you in check so that their expectation could be met at the betrayal of yourself. So that's a really big part of it as well, especially around family and culture and traditions that we oftentimes have. That's a big one, because when you try to get out of it, or when you try to do something different, establish a whole new thing, the first thing is, oh my gosh, but this is the expectation that they have of me, and then the guilt settles in.
Yes, and we're feeling those symptoms so strongly that we forget that the guilt fades. And we forget that regret does not. We will be regretting all of going longer than we'll regret the guilt that we're holding on to. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we can choose one and can grow from the other.
Yes, 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 yes. So the piece, circling back to the expectations piece, Murnell, if you're constantly honoring other people's expectations and meeting them,
yes,
and sometimes what we don't realize we're doing is, in trying to meet the expectations of our families, we deny the expectations of ourselves. And if you consistently bypass, overlook, dismiss, or ignore your own expectations for self, you train yourself that you are not trustworthy to you. And when you are not trustworthy to you, and you struggle with self-neglect and not making commitments to you, you find it hard to move forward with trying new and different things. Because you are so used to overlooking your own expectations for what you want, what you need, how you want things to look, and defer to fulfilling other people's, that you now won't trust yourself to do other things that are important.
That's so true.
And go ahead, Adenise.
And if you can't trust yourself, you tend to lean on other people to
Yes,
make those decisions
yes,
for you.
yes, that is
and
so
then
important.
the cycle continues.
Yes, that lack of self-trust, lack of self-trust equals self-neglect. If I don't trust myself, I am not going to look to myself to guide me through situations. I will look to other people because I know how I have betrayed myself in the past. And that's where the issues begin. What version of you shows up during the holidays? Your adult self or your survival self? So I'm throwing that out to all three of us. What version of you shows up during the holidays? Is it your adult self or your survival self? So I can go first. Just even thinking about it excites me because the version of me that shows up during the holiday is my adult self. I love to, like today, I'm going to go home and decorate the Christmas tree because I know that's important to my daughter and my husband. We love having the Christmas tree. I love cooking. I show my appreciation and gratitude for my family through cooking. So when the holidays come, I get excited and I get to be an adult. And I've planned holiday events and then said, no, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it. But that's the adult in me recognizing that I get to change my mind. So for me, the version of me that shows up during the holidays is my adult self. Was that always the case? No. I remember one year when I first moved to the US when I was way, 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 way younger. Christmas was so commercialized that I felt like I needed to buy a gift for everybody. Yeah. And I used my whole paycheck.
You're broke.
Broke as a joke. To buy gifts for everybody in my family, and people didn't even reciprocate it. Yeah. And instead of enjoying the holidays, I've spent it being resentful, pissed off. So I think that holiday was very eye-opening for me. I was in my 20s back then. That was in the islands we say that was the fuss and the last. Never happened again. So what about you guys? What version of you shows up during the holidays?
Now, the adult version.
The adult self?
Now the adult version of me. My breaking point was Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I don't know why I love Thanksgiving so much. I think I like food. I think I like food. I like cooking. I just like to create. And I think Thanksgiving allows me the opportunity to create. And so for a long time, every Thanksgiving, since I could remember, I would be the only one cooking and I would go all out and cook. And one Thanksgiving, I asked one of my family members to do one thing for me, to help me, and she did not. She sat on the couch and watched me do everything else. And then I watched her go in the room and take a nap.
Oh.
That's the added one. And when I watched her take a nap, I said, that's it. I'm no longer pleasing everybody. So now, in my adult self and stepping into my adult self, the one that shows up now is my adult version of who I am. Oh. So now I can say, well, I'm not doing that. I told my mother this Thanksgiving, I said, I'm laying down.
That's right.
Thanksgiving. And I told my friends, y'all bringing me food.
That's
this
right.
Thanksgiving, knock on my door or just leave in the front. I'm going from the bed to the bathroom to the kitchen.
What about you, Adenine?
No, I relate to both of your stories. I'm now also in my adult self. I have not spent a Christmas at home in the last 5 years. I always take a trip outside for Christmas. And it was because growing up, like, I would like to say my love language is gift giving. If you tell me you like it, I'm gonna buy it for you. That's the type of person I am. And I was also like Nikki, going overextending, using my whole paycheck and my whole savings, buying everybody's gifts just for it to be broken, just for not even a thank you. And I just felt so like used and hurt, and it felt so icky. And I love to travel, and so I got an opportunity one year where a close friend of mine, where she was like, do you want to see 50 states, all 50 states? Let's every Christmas take a road trip. And I said, bet. And I remember the first year my mom was just like, wait, you're not gonna be here? And I was like, no, we don't even do anything. And for the last 5 years, they have now grown to expect me not to be here for the holidays.
You trained them.
Trained them. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And I've had to, and I got rid of that guilt because I remember at the beginning I felt so bad because they were just like, "You're not gonna be home for Christmas." Nope, I'm gonna go see snow.
Maybe
And after that, they've now accepted it, and I also feel like so much more free on what I can do for the holidays and not feel obligated to be around family if I don't want to. Even with Thanksgiving too, sometimes I've actually moved up the trip and gone on Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, and I'm just like, somebody let me here.
So
and I love this.
I want to point something out. It's not that I was giving with the expectation that I have to get a gift back. I wasn't just giving because I wanted a gift back. I was giving from a place of love and care. And like you name Adenade, when you're giving from a place of love and care and you see that your efforts are not being matched, whether it's gratitude toward your effort or just gratitude and acknowledgement for the role you play or who you are, that injures. When gratitudes don't when efforts do not match in a relationship,
Yep.
someone's needs tend to get neglected.
Yeah, say that again.
When gratitude, I keep saying gratitude. When efforts do not match equally in a relationship, when they don't match or align, someone's needs tend to get neglected.
That is so true. And I kind of want to bring us back to this idea of the fact that we play roles during the holiday, or we feel as if we have to play roles during the holiday. And I guess the question I want to put out there is, who benefits from you remaining in that role?
Ooh.
Somebody's benefiting from
Yeah, yeah. So I noticed as you were asking that question, who benefits from my role? I didn't feel any resistance. What I feel, I know my role. My when it comes to the holidays, people typically know that I find joy in creating spaces of gratitude and fun. Like I love to dance, I love to cook, and I love having people around me that are fun. So for me, in my family, my role is one of hosting and bringing family together. And I'm okay in that role because I benefit from that role.
because that role now for you is a healed role.
Yes, so no one's forcing me, and if I
Yes.
say no, there's no resentment or resistance. I benefit from it because I enjoy so much from being around and with people who love me and I love. So it's mutual benefit, which is really what it should be.
Yeah.
A mutual benefit in the role that you're serving in these holiday seasons.
I love that, and I love the part of it where that role for you is a role you chose to be
Yes.
a part of.
Yes.
You chose to play that role because
Yes.
it benefits you, and it allows you to have that self satisfaction of watching others. Where areas sometimes, if we're not healed and accepting of the role, and we're doing it based on others' expectation, they're the ones who benefit. Like back when I used to do, when my childhood self used to show up for holidays, I wasn't benefiting.
So it's a trauma
It was a
response.
trauma response. I didn't benefit. They benefit. They went to sleep. Attention. And I was not benefiting from the role. Now in my adult self, in my healed version of who I am, now I can benefit from that role. Now I can step into my role and say, I want to cook because I want to cook. Because I'm happy with what I'm cooking. And you guys can eat it too.
Life expands when your obedience ends, right? Like when your obedience ends, when you stop serving or showing up people pleasing just for the sake of peace, it just feels so expansive. It feels like freedom. Adonai, do you remember what it was like when you decided, you know what, to hell with this, I am traveling?
Oh, yes. It was a little bit of guilt, right? A little bit of them making me feel bad. But I remember the liberty that I felt when I said, no, I'm choosing myself and still going and enjoying myself and not regretting it. It made me feel as if I have a choice. I have a voice in this, and I do not have to do everything that other people expect me to do.
Did the guilt stop you from having fun?
No.
Tell me your life.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
But it's okay to make new traditions.
Yes.
exactly what it taught me. It's okay for me to do different outside of what other people expect me to do. The ones that bring me joy, the ones that, you know, help me feel restful, the one that brings peace into my life. And I can continue to honor my family without abandoning myself, which was the hardest lesson I have to learn, and still learning it. But you can choose yourself without having to feel as if you're abandoning yourself also. And we are allowed to redefine what family really
Wait, I'm sorry. You said you can choose yourself without feel like you're abandoning yourself, or
I think she meant family.
Oh, okay.
You could choose yourself, and I think that was she meant you could choose yourself without abandoning your family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my brain went, wait. I'm not tracking. So thank you for clarifying that.
All right. And also, we can also redefine what family means for us.
Ooh,
that's good.
Yeah. You mean we don't have to go by what we've always seen and what we were told it needs to mean?
We do not.
How do you redefine what your family means for you?
Oh, I think it. Remember, you know the quote, blood is thicker than water?
Yeah.
I actually looked it up, what that full quote meant.
Ooh.
And when I looked that up, right, it was, don't quote me on it. I think it says, the blood of the covenant is not thicker than the water of the womb. Though that's not the full quote, right?
Yeah.
But it really defines saying, right, the relationships you create tend to always be a lot stronger than the family that we came with. And I learned that the people who I've come here with, they aren't always in my best interest sometimes. And it's also the people that I have created meaningful connections with, the people who have truly understood me, that tend to know me better. And that's okay for me to redefine what family means. To choose people who would choose me and not stay in toxic situations.
Yes, for me. That choice piece. The choice piece.
It always come back to choice.
Choice. So, you know, a lot of adults do not realize that they have a choice. A lot of adult children or grandchildren do not realize their rights to choose.
I think that's that's not normal, but I think that's more often than we think. Because
yes,
growing up in a situation where you're taught to please others, you're taught to play a role, you're taught to do all of these things, and going back to the beginning where we talked about different bodies but one identity.
Yeah,
it's easy to not realize that I have a choice outside of this identity. I can create my own.
And you repeating that you're taught. That's what I want people to remember. You have been taught a lot of things. It doesn't mean that the things that you were taught were all true or healthy, or that you have to continue to abide to them.
Yeah.
You now get the honor of teaching you things that align with what you need and what your values are. You get to now teach you. So this conversation today, it was about reclaiming your freedom during the holiday season. And I sincerely hope and I challenge each of you to make space to take up space in your own life. Make space to show up in your own life and celebrate you this holiday first before you honor and celebrate others.
Yes.
Check in with you first. It's okay to be self-focused. Being self-focused doesn't mean that you lack empathy for others. You can be self-focused and have empathy for others. But if you have more empathy for other people and it leaves no room for you to focus on you, then that's bondage.
Yes.
So I challenge you to go where your peace lives. Create spaces that nurture your peace and your right to choice. And if this conversation resonated with you today, or you're thinking of friends or cousins or individuals who you think might be struggling with this challenge, please share. Follow us on Instagram at Emergent Counseling LLC, or on our Facebook page at Emergent Counseling. But whatever you do, keep showing up for you, and we appreciate you made space for us to take up some space in your ears today.
Thank you.
So until next time, be kind to yourself, because you deserve it.